You know, I have many viewers, I guess, and some are saying this, and it's true, I think. So it's a legitimate gripe. That I'm always ragging on men. I never say very many positive things. When we talk about men who do positive things, it's just that there's a lot of negative men that do a lot of negative things. So we talk about them too. But something that I heard recently that I thought was a very good thing for people to start doing was something I heard Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson do. You know, he was talking about how in 1987 he got evicted out of Hawaii. Apparently, when he was a teenager, he used to go into the local grocery stores and steal all the Snickers. Hey, that's what it was like in the 80s. You had one-hit wonders, juvenile delinquents who stole Snickers, and skateboarders. You hardly see any more skateboarders. That was such an 80s thing. But yeah, he was talking about how he was a troubled youth. And he did a lot of bad things when he was a young individual. And recently he said that he went back to Hawaii. And at all the local grocery stores, he bought all the Snickers and gave them to customers inside the store. And he said, we cannot change what we did in the past, but we can try to do better in the present to provide for a better future. Or something to that extent. Now, I thought that was a good philosophy for a lot of men to follow suit, starting as soon as possible. Because men do a lot of dirt. They do, and they know they do. It's not like they don't know, they know. And oftentimes they'll say, oh, well, it's water under a bridge. It happened a long time ago. As though they're not continuing to do the same dirt like they changed. Like they are doing something different. I'm like, no, they were bad in their youth. And they're horrible as adults. Now, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is setting a better example. He's saying, I know I was troubled in my youth, and now I want to do something to better that in my present day and age. I think a lot of men should follow suit. I think it would help the young men who are really struggling in the general society. A lot of this is about purpose, especially for men, but for women too. The youth are being taught all of these crazy things about people back in the day and how great they were. It's as though nobody alive is doing anything great. Only the dead people did great things. We have to break up this bullshit. Look, I'm not saying I did, but maybe I did have a little chat with the folks on the other side. first thing is, why are you all so obsessed with them? I don't know if anybody on the other side that's obsessed with you as much as you're obsessed with them. First and foremost, have you noticed that people will talk about the dead, but don't talk about the living? I love dead, old, evil men. Put that on a book or a t-shirt or a hat. Yeah, people will talk about Hitler nowadays. And then you wonder why these youth have so many mental health issues. They're being taught about dead people and how great the dead people are. They don't talk about the living. What greatness they want them to produce. Is no way in the world you should spend all of your time talking about people who have already been here, who in large cases were problematic when they were here, rather than to talk about the people who can do something for you right now, in the here and now. Surely there is a scientist that's inventing a cure for some type of ailment that we all suffer from. Why isn't that person publicized? Why isn't that research funded? People would rather talk about the founding fathers than the people fighting this day and age to protect, defend, and strengthen democracy. What do I need to know about some clowns in the 17th century for? When I can turn on my TV and see clowns in this current century. I don't get that. You know, I think a lot of things it's the focus of a lot of things. Folks choose to focus on things that are irrelevant and try to make them more relevant than what they are. And you see that all the time. Some things I focus on that are irrelevant. Because it's nice to know what's out there, floating around. But I'm not going to make something irrelevant more relevant than what it is. There's a lot of things that get blown up way out of proportion. It's one thing to acknowledge something. It's another thing to just dwell on something. A lot of people dwell on things that are irrelevant.